I know it's usually the little girl crying, but in this case, I'm crying as well. As you can see on the screen here, DeAndre Hopkins putting a dagger through my heart. And many people wondering, Josh, why didn't you talk about this on the last episode? Well, here on the Josh Potter Show, we had to tape an episode quite earlier than this event happening. And I didn't get to witness this terrible, terrible tragedy until after we recorded. So here we are. Finally, I can react to it. And there it is, just the dagger through my heart. It's disappeared. But when I see this image, I just think the REM song, you know? When your day is long and the night is yours alone. And when you're sure you had enough, I fucking, everybody hurts. I cried after this happened. I mean, it was one of those things where you can't even be mad. You know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Buffalo Bills are playing the Arizona Cardinals. I happened to be in Phoenix the day that it was happening, as a matter of fact. And I wanted to go to the game. I really did, but even if I could, I couldn't go. I mean, it wouldn't have worked out with me having to do the show and get to the show on time. And it was my first set in like 288 days. So I was definitely concentrating on that, wanting it to be good for everybody. And so I watched it from my hotel room. And as I'm getting ready to head out the door, you see, this occurred. And the Bills coming back, scoring a go-ahead touchdown with very little time left, about 48 seconds, enough time where a defense could essentially shut down an offense pretty efficiently. You know what I'm saying? Like, it definitely was a scenario where I thought we had the game in the bag. And in the final play of the game, a Hail Mary, which now being named Hail Murray because Kyler Murray is the one who chucked it up into the air into a triple-covered DeAndre Hopkins. And he comes down with just an unbelievable catch. And I'm over here like, as everybody hurts. And now I don't know. I mean, people are writing in viewer feedback to the new email, by the way, joshpottershow@ymhstudios.com. Somebody asked, he goes, excited to see if Josh can make it 10 minutes without explicitly referencing DeAndre Hopkins and in his no-no area back here. And his opinion of its cleanliness. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, folks, I redact and retract all of my praise that I put upon DeAndre Hopkins about the cleanliness of his no-no spot. And if you're unaware of which spot I'm talking about, it's the one in the back, the no-no place where doo-doo comes out. And I said on these very airwaves that he probably has the cleanest no-no place and that I would put my mouth there. And now, no, never would I do that. Never. He's changed my opinion. Now it is a dirty one, and I don't want to put my mouth anywhere near there. I would never do that for you, DeAndre Hopkins. You've ruined what could have been a wonderful... I mean, we would have been, 8-3? Now we have a fourth loss. I don't like that. We're still doing fine, but geez, look at right there. Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer. I've analyzed this thing like the Zapruder film. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. I mean, Trey White had an angle on getting his hand on the ball, but Jordan Poyer came in late and almost did an elbow drop on Trey White, so he couldn't get the trajectory he needed to dislodge the ball from those large hands that DeAndre Hopkins has. Back and to the left. So, it was James who wrote into Josh Potter's show at ymhstudios.com who didn't think I could do it, but I've done it. We're not quite through the nice boy clock quite yet, but I've done it, and I think we can move on from that topic. I'll come back to it and really tell you my thoughts about DeAndre Hopkins and his disgusting no-no place in just a little while when we get into the sports. Other things that were discussed here in the viewer feedback that we've got at the email address. Again, Josh Potter Show at ymhstudios.com. That's right. The name of the show has changed if you haven't noticed, because copyrights are important. They protect the children, as we learned. So we have to change it, Here we are. And so last time during the Nice Boy Clock, we discussed a commercial that brings me to tears. I saw it again this past Sunday Night Football, and I can't believe they're still airing it. It's egregious of Mercedes to put that on the airwaves and torture us this way. But I noticed other things are making me, I'm sensitive to other things lately, which is very weird. Because I thought I was very, thoroughly deadened inside. And I wasn't, getting too high on the highs or too low on the lows. I thought I was pretty deadlined, pretty flatlined, I should say, in a dead space. And now, the other night, I was walking home, and a kitty was following me. And I thought, that's weird, this kitty's following me. I stopped, I pet it for a second. I get nervous petting stray cats, because you hear about those things where they got those worms, where, if it gets in your brain, you turn into a psycho or something. I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it. It's like worms in their piss or something. I don't know how it works. When I listen to things, it's like, weep, whamp, and I catch a couple of things. I'm like, cats got worms that fuck you up. So I don't know. I petted a little bit, then I kept going along my way, and it followed me all the way to my apartment. So much that it followed me through the gate up to my door. And I stood there at the door, and I'm like, you can't come in here. I can't have a pet. I mean, I'm supposed to feed it then and shit. I can't do that. And I sat there and sobbed about the fact that this cat wanted to come into my apartment and I couldn't let it. What's going on with me? I don't know what's happening to my body. I don't know what's happening to my mind. This is a cry for help I'm giving you here in the Nice Boy Clock. And I bring that up because somebody mentioned the commercial that I brought up, and it says, I too was moved way too much for a Sunday afternoon watching that exact commercial. You may be an empath or INFP on the Myers-Briggs scale. So it sounds like I'm somewhat of an R word of some kind. Probably. I mean, I always assumed. Can we Google INFP? What does that mean? It doesn't say here. They're expecting me to just know. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm that. I would Google it in terms of a Myers-Briggs sort of situation. What does it say there? Please tell me what I am. Diagnose me.
It says INFPs are imaginative idealists guided by their own core values and beliefs, and you're considered a healer. To a healer, possibilities are paramount. The realism of the moment is only of passing concern. They see potential for a better future and pursue truth and meaning with their own individual flair.
That seems a little I mean, I don't think I'm any of those things. You know what I mean? I just think I'm a bitch.
Yeah. You think you're a bitch on the Myers-Briggs?
Yeah. Yeah. If you look at, it comes up. That's what I'd go in for, one of those tests where I come up on the spectrum and they go, your reading says you're a bitch. Don't let yourself go. Cause everybody hurts. What else did I have here? Oh, yes. I saw this other thing in the news. This is an official news story, but I just thought it was interesting, and I'd bring it up to the folk in the other room. You guys are all doing pretty good, though. I don't know. Maybe Zolo's always been doing good, though. So maybe not. I'm trying to think. Because there was a time when I moved here to Los Angeles where I was like, what can I do to make money? I had no idea. I was applying for jobs at places like Lids. I was, I'm like, can I donate plasma? And then they're like, you have to not do drugs. And I was like, screw that. I'm not going to donate plasma. I was thinking about donating my white. But you know what? When you go to donate your white, there's some stipulations involved. They're not just taking all the white. Turns out you got to have some qualifications physically in order to do that. And I walked in there and they're like, no. We don't want any of that. You think we want to make more of you? This would be like punishable to actually give this to a woman to put inside of her body. Do you know what I'm saying? Turns out you have to be at least 5'5", or at least 6 foot to get to donate. Did you know that?
Yeah, you also have to have a college degree.
Are you kidding me? Like, that's a scale of your intellect? A college degree? I know a lot of dum-dums that have one of those.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They have a lot of them.
Are they like, this is a state school? No dice. I mean, Enny, you sound like you've gone through the rigmarole over there. You try to donate some of yours.
Yeah, I tried my best.
What if they were like, sorry, sir, we have too much black sperm.
I'd be like, it's all right. It's only half black.
You only get 3/4 the price. What if they were really racist about it? We have to pay. It's like you only get 3/4 the money. Sorry. We already have a lot of your kind of white here today. We're looking more for Connecticut type of sperm, if you catch what we're saying. I don't even remember where I was going with this. Oh, yeah. We're out of the nice boy hour now. I can say jizz. The nice boy clock has been shut off. By the way, the nice boy clock up for sponsorship. If you want to sponsor the nice boy clock products out there, such and such, the nice boy clock presented by Ford. I don't know, whatever you want. But the reason I brought that up is because people are taking TaskRabbit jobs. TaskRabbit, that website you can go on and do odd jobs for people as a way to make money. It's not donating your sperm, but, which is seemingly much easier. But maybe you put together a IKEA furniture or something for somebody, or, I don't know what else they do on TaskRabbit. Have you ever used it, Enny, or gone on there and perused it?
No, I did a thing where I tried to sell training for a video game because there was tournaments that you could enter. So I sold that for a while, but I never actually used it. Yeah, on TaskRabbit.
No shit. See, look at all sorts of tasks. Well, I'll tell you a TaskRabbit job that has become incredibly popular. There are tons of TaskRabbit jobs available for you out there if you're looking for work where you can stand in line for people to take a COVID test. Yeah, because the lines are so ridiculously long. I don't know if you've seen any images of Dodger Stadium with the cars wrapped around. It's interesting. Last week was Thanksgiving, and oftentimes around this time of year, they'll show LA traffic during, the exodus of Thanksgiving. And they showed this image of Dodger Stadium where people were lined up to get COVID tests, and I just assumed it was the typical holiday traffic in LA. No, it was COVID test traffic. I was like, good God. People were saying it was taking upwards of 4 to 5 hours in order to get their tests, and that's just at that site. There was other ones you could see in New York City. New York City obviously going through a bit of a relapse as well in terms of virus cases at this point and at this recording. And they've had lines around blocks, and that's where people are really doing this most of all, is New York City, is just the standing lines. People are like, well, I can't be bothered to get my test results. I got other nothing to do. I mean, what do you got to do? It's lockdown. You should be pretty pleased you get to be outside at the very least. But would you take this job if you were desperate enough? It doesn't seem that bad, right?
Would I take the job? Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that bad, right? It's not like you have to I don't know. It's not like you're being exposed to the virus more, right?
I mean, I guess the question is how much, though?
That it did not say. So, I mean, I think it varies, how much would you charge for something like that? You're in line for 4 hours, say.
I would charge a lot, though, because I'm bougie as fuck. So I'd be like, homie, I'm going to look good and sit in that line. I'm going to have to say fucking $70 an hour. So
$70 an hour?
$70 an hour.
Holy shit. I don't value myself nearly as high as you value yourself. Because I would have been like, what's minimum wage? Okay, I'll subtract from that. No,
well, you got to start at 70, and then they'll be like, I'm thinking 15.
You do the old, I'm going to slam the door in your face tactic. That's the old, there's a negotiation tactic, which I don't understand because it's widely known how it still works, where you come in so high that they go, oh my God. And then they kind of meet you where you really want them to be. And I never found that to work. I've always come in, I'm like, this number. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? We're going down here at this number. And you go, okay, yes, sir. That's how I do it. That's my master negotiation skills. That's why I'm poor.
You gotta let me negotiate next time.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I'll help you.
Also, we mentioned in the Nice Boy Clock last time about jazz and my disdain for it, and people took that the wrong way. But I got more reaction about Enny's little comment that he made. I don't know, Enny. You want to make any apologies about country music today?
Wait a minute, country music?
Yeah, you brought up country music last week, and it ruffled a few feathers. I don't know. Should we? Do you want to make an apology?
I guess if the network requires it, gotta do what I gotta do.
Do you even know what your offense was? You don't even remember talking about it.
I don't. Yeah. You mean I said it was lame? It was boring.
Well, what you said was, here's where people took umbrage, from what I remember. What you said was, it's kind of like racist people treat rap music the way that you treat country music.
I remember now.
And so people were like, doesn't that make you racist, Enny?
Oh, whoa. Uh-oh.
Hey everybody, we're back here, Potter Motel. I have to make an apology. It turns out something I said earlier. There's Gustakis, I forget what his name was at the plate.
Close enough, partner.
It seems as though I said something that could have been taken a little racially. Wasn't my intent at all, but... Oh, there's a fly ball. Great job by Trevor.
Trevor, that's...
Anyway, I'd like to apologize. That was not my intent. And let's get back into the game.
That's your apology there. That's my partner. He's going to be suspended for the next 4 weeks. Moustakis coming to the plate. He had a few nips before the game. That's why I got the names wrong. Gustakis. He only knew Trevor Bauer by his first name. That's okay. He's suspended, like I said. And we're going to get back to the Super City Charge Hour of the Week. Coming up next on the Reds broadcast. No, that's... yeah, people were upset about that. And I think the only people that were upset about that were racists. Frankly. But doesn't that make you racist? Why does hating rap music make me racist? That wasn't the point, folks. It was the fact that racist people often paint with a wide brush. That's all that it was. And I know, and Enny was saying that I think there is country music that eventually, with age, you might come along and enjoy.
I don't think so. I think it's lame as hell. Country music, it's just trucks and craft beer, man. I'll never stop.
I love how you say craft beer. People got mad about that, by the way. Someone's like, craft beer. Now, I hate craft beer. Craft beer people are losers. They might as well be like Salt Life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you like craft beer, fine. But don't make it your personality. And it's not, I've never heard of country. It's more like Budweiser and shit beer like I drink. You know what I mean? Miller Lite and shit. That's the kind of beer I go for. And I would say that would be more prominent in a country song than anything else, you see. Now, as we get into sports here, things that people hate, I understand people have remixed the sports song. I made a joke that we should get a trap beat to it, and some people did it. Look at that. So why don't we hear a couple of them, and we can pick one and decide which one will be our... Maybe we'll rotate a couple of them. I don't know, but let's hear them. What do you say, Enny? How does that sound?
You got it. Sounds fun, and these are all bangers, by the way. So let me play the first one.
Yeah, maybe we just use all of them. And by the way, no one did the news song. Maybe because I didn't say anything about it, but that one is feeling sad right now. It's feeling lonely. It wants your approval, too. We'll play that, of course, at the beginning if we've got some interesting news stories. So let's get into the sports songs so we can get into the sports.
All right, this first one is from Brockton.
Let me get a little more on my headphones. Turn my headphones up. That's great. They actually took my off rhythm. I bet I made it difficult with my bare vocals. You know what I'm saying? They had to like put it to a rhythm because I wasn't. That's wonderful. Thank you, Brockton. Let's keep them rolling.
All right, this next one is from Connor Strapp, 2 Ps.
Dope. Oh yeah, this one. Fuck yeah. He really fucking crushed that. Thank you, sir.
I love that one. This one is Lumen, Lumen. Not quite trap. A little funky.
Yeah, that's that like slow jam shit. Fuck yeah. Ooh, that was a nice little flare at the end. I like that because that's like the slow fuck jam. You know what I mean? Like when you're really dicking down. No? Okay.
If you could fuck to that,
I could fuck to that all day. Are you serious?
You're a champion. If you
Oh
could
man,
do
I'd
that.
be like fucking what's his name in American Psycho, Christian Bale, like in the
Christian
mirror
Bale.
while I'm listening to that song. I'd be like beep 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 while I'm like looking in the mirror and shit. You kidding? God, it'd make my dick 10 times larger that day. Be like the Grinch. You know?
All right.
Keep them going.
This next one is from When You Know.
When
all
You
one
Know.
word.
All right. That's good for like when we have a serious sports story. Like someone, you know, I don't know. Like remember back in the day, you guys don't remember, but there was back in the day a gentleman by the name of Javon Belcher who he decided before he went to practice that he would
murder.
his baby mama. And then he went to the Chiefs practice facility and blew his brains out in front of his coach. And then the coach was like, "Well, who we got next on the depth chart?" Great. Now who's playing left outside linebacker? Fuck. That's really how they handled it. They were like, "Gah. All right, well, tomorrow's the game. We better figure out who's starting." But yeah, that would be a breaking news story like Javon Belcher right there. Keep the trap beats alive. Let's keep them going.
There's only two
more?
Yeah,
Okay.
2 more. This one from NG.
Okay. Fuck yeah, we gotta put that to like a trap beat. Is that what that's called? Okay. That was the shit. I thought that was Nadav laughing at the track, but it was in the track. Well, Enny, that I guess was our last one there. So why don't you just pick one randomly here? And all these are fantastic, like I said. And thank you for submitting them over to the web, the email, joshpottershow@ymhstudios.com. Brand new email. Please write it down and remember it. But yeah, that's where you can send those. Tackle the news one if you can too, because that one's feeling lonely. But let's get into the sports. Pick a random one, and we'll use it to go inside of the sports segment today.
I know we just listened to it, but this one's my favorite, man. I gotta
All right.
play it.
Fuck yeah, we gotta put that to like a trap beat. Aw yeah, baby. And a great way to start off the sports segment today is with wonderful fatherly advice. The NBA draft just happened, a lot of free agency, a lot of changing of the guard from any team, some new bright futures for others. But a gentleman who has been a pest in our pop culture zeitgeist for the past couple of years when it comes to the NBA is Mr. LaVar Ball. Now, I would even venture to say those who don't know anything about basketball might even know who LaVar Ball is. Is that true? To Enny, basically, is who I'm asking.
You said, do I know who LaVar Ball is?
Have you heard of him? Because he's also he's been in the fashion game a little bit with his Triple B baller brand. I forget what it's called. Nadav definitely knows who LaVar Ball is. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Hold up.
Yeah, Zolo, you know who LaVar Ball is, yeah?
Yep.
All right. See, they know who it is, Enny.
Whoops.
You don't know, right?
I don't know nobody.
So
no.
LaVar Ball used to actually play professional football. He wasn't very good. He was like a mediocre player at best. But he had 3 sons, all of whom were excelling very highly at their age in basketball. Now, the sons' names are Lonzo, LiAngelo, and LaMelo. Okay? Lonzo was the first one drafted. He went to UCLA, got drafted by the Lakers with, I believe, the number 2 overall pick. And then he subsequently kind of shat the bed, was traded to the Pelicans. People have arguments and debates about whether or not he was a bust. But coming out of college, he was hyped so much because his father was the hype machine. He would go on all the shows and talk so much shit. He would say wild things about his son's abilities, and he would say wild things about other people. He would just talk shit all the time, and he became a lightning rod and became very popular. And they started their big baller brand fashion line, and there was a minute where it was hot. They made a sneaker that came out, and this sneaker was insanely expensive. I don't know if you can find the sneaker that they put out, but it was also a tremendous flop because I want your opinion on how this sneaker is, if it's fucking cool or not. Do you think you could find it and look at it? Just type in Triple B big ball, Lonzo or LaVar Ball sneaker. They really only had one, I think, model. Or whatever you want to call it, one version, because it tanked so tremendously. What do you think of
this one right here?
It might be. I mean, I don't remember exactly what it looked like, but if that's it, that's it. I mean, what do you think of that shoe? Is that fire or is that trash?
I mean, it's a little of both.
You got
honestly.
a price on it? Because that might sway you. You'd be like, what?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's $500, so... I mean, I'm going to go Gucci if I'm going to spend $500 on a shoe.
Right. You're not going
shit.
Big baller brand or whatever the hell they call their fucking big BBB.
Nah, this reminds me of 310 from way back. You don't know that unless you were slumming, but yeah, that's...
What were those one shoes that they had, Stephon Marbury, I think, put them out where they're Starbursts or Star brand. You know what I'm talking about? They were cheap Jordan. You know what I mean? They were Jordans for poor kids. I don't know. That was back when I was in school. That was you guys are I don't even fucking know what the fuck you're talking about. But LaVar Ball has kind of drifted off the radar in terms of pop culture and things like that because Lonzo didn't really turn out as great. He ended up taking LiAngelo and LaMelo out of college altogether, saying college ball is a waste of time. Go play professionally in Europe. So they're in fucking playing in New Zealand or some shit. I don't even really know. They just drifted away. They went off the fucking radar after they had a Facebook reality show and everything like that. But LaMelo did just get drafted in this past draft, 3rd overall, I believe, to the Charlotte Hornets. They're building a young core down there, so he's going to get a little bit of a shot and perhaps maybe outshine his brother. But LaVar Ball has been in the press again recently because he gave some fatherly advice to his children that he brought up during the draft, something that all fathers, if they are involved in their children's lives when they're going into the NBA draft, might want to dispel upon their children. This might be the most wise thing LaVar Ball has ever said. He says, "You'll never meet a good woman during an NBA career." That is LaVar Ball's fatherly advice to his NBA sons, explaining why they're only going to meet hoes while living the jet-setting life as a pro basketball player. You're not going to find nobody like I found your mom, LaVar explained on the Endless Hustle podcast while talking about the advice he's given his sons Lonzo, LiAngelo, and LaMelo. If you're in this profession, you got all this fame and notoriety, how are you going to meet a good girl? You're not. I get it, dude. I get it. All this fame and shit. It's rough. LaVar says the only places NBA players meet women during their busy careers are at restaurants, clubs, or in the arenas. And he said, so I hate to tell you, but you're going to meet a hoe. It's just how it goes, son. So, son, that's the bad part of life you're going to get. You're never going to meet a good woman. Just saying this to his kid. Kid's like 24. LaVar also warned that by the time his kids understand what he's talking about, it'll be too late, because if they meet a woman who's 30 and single, you got to wonder why she's by herself at 30. So there's something that's dangerous, no matter how good they look. But have a good time, son. That's what he said to him. Have a good time, son. I feel bad for you. But hey, I love that you made it. That's what he said. When asked how he'd react if his sons brought home a hoe, LaVar said, that's already happened more than once. I've seen them. They already brought a few through here. LaVar says his boys will never be able to meet a woman at a typical job or at church because of the demands of the NBA are too time consuming. Plus, the constant travel also makes things tough. How are you going to meet somebody and be solid? It's not going to happen. Sorry, you have to retire if you want to meet a woman. I mean, he's not wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are women whose entire existence sometimes revolves around hovering outside these hotels that they're staying at. They are trying to get the bag. And by that, I mean a load in their pussies. That is a lottery ticket. And I'm not hating the game. Trust me, ladies. Go get that load. You know? That is a $1 million load at the very least. If that shit gets pumped into you, do not even stand up. So that get it all in there. Like, even put your legs up in the air and shake it so it gets real down in. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure that's inside you. Right? You guys seem upset with my logic.
Yeah, man. That's great. Great advice.
It is great advice. If you're a fucking lady who gets the fucking NBA star, you know, I mean, they're strong athletes, but pull that butt in so that load stays inside. You don't want any pullout happening with that. It's a waste of time, if you ask me, then, you know? But LaVar gave his son some good advice. I love how he says that, like, if you're an ex-girlfriend of Lonzo or LaMelo or LiAngelo and you're like a poor little 23-year-old girl, you're like, oh, I guess I'm one of the hoes. Let's march through there. I've had dinner with this man, but I guess I'm a fucking hoe. Let's continue. Enny, you ever think some girls are just trying to get with you because of the trying to secure the bag?
I mean, at least a couple, yeah.
Yeah, right?
What's funny is my dad told me the exact same thing growing up.
I was wondering why it might have resonated with you so purely when I was bringing it up there. But you weren't an NBA star, so your dad was just expounding that wisdom based off women in general.
No, because my dad owned Dublin's.
That's right.
In Hollywood, yeah. So he told me I was going to own that club. Well, he told me I did own the club. So he's like, yeah, all these hoes are going to be out here asking you what do you do and all that. Just remember, they don't give a damn about you. They just want what you got.
That's interesting. And you know, I've had to remind myself, I am no way comparing myself to an NBA player in the amount of pussy that they get thrown at them. That is the disclaimer before I make this next sentence come out of my mouth. I have noticed sometimes on the road or what have you, when a girl is very into wanting to hook up, oftentimes I'm kind of going like, this girl doesn't really like me, does she? She's kind of just like, but hey, I don't care. Use me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not rich, so they're not trying to get that load in them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't provide many as it is, as we know, but I do notice though, you know, with a little bit of after performing or something like that, comes with a bit of a caveat when they think that they, you know, might know. They don't know you at all, and sometimes you can tell right away they don't even care about getting to know you, which is a little bit lesser and a bit more romanticized version of what LaVar was saying about things with his sons. So yeah, he's just like, you're never gonna find love. You just got hoes and hoes and hoes. It's a real curse. Here's something that I find interesting. Todd McShay, who I like relatively decently. I don't mind Todd McShay. He's no queef of the week, that's for sure. We're not making Todd McShay the queef of the week. In fact, we're going to make everybody who has judged Todd McShay this week's Queef of the Week.
Queef of the Week.
That was one of the classics. Of course, by the way, a couple episodes ago, we had a lot of queefs, and we have a lot more. So we're going to get into those in a little bit. But first, let's talk about Todd McShay. You see, because apparently Todd McShay was forced off a broadcast after viewers became concerned with his health. And what that means is Todd McShay did not sound or look good when he appeared on ABC's telecast of the Wisconsin Northwestern game back on, I don't remember how many Saturdays ago it was now, but it was quite the Northwestern destroyed Wisconsin. The 43-year-old ESPN draft analyst appeared on the field to give a pregame report ahead of the game, but viewers became concerned as he sounded different than usual. He also was not speaking clearly the way he normally does. So here's McShay up here. Let's see if we can get a little glimpse of how he was speaking.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at offensively, what they've always done, Paul Chris understands like the pre-snap motions and everything that you want to do.
Yeah, it was a lot, because if you've ever heard Todd McShay and if you watched any NFL draft or anything that he's usually an analyst for the NFL draft, so he speaks on college football a lot and things like that. He's usually much more clearly spoken. He is outside in the elements. It could very well be cold there, but people were like, is he having a stroke? Some people accused him of actually being intoxicated, which is, it's definitely a wild accusation to be like, this guy's drunk on the air. Like, that's kind of a career-ending sort of accusation. McShay did not give a report after halftime. They took him off the air after this. Play-by-play announcer Sean McDonough later told viewers during the second half that McShay left due to an illness. Back in April, he actually missed ESPN's coverage of the NFL draft because he was battling COVID-19, so it wasn't a COVID-related thing, and it hasn't really come out as to why it was happening or what was happening to Todd McShay. But it is interesting that because of the internet these days, and we are so used to hearing him speak for hours and hours and hours, that just this little moment brought people to go like, what is going on with Todd? Not even just producers, like people at home tweeting, which I thought was very interesting. But yeah, to say that he was drunk, I mean, what if he had a stroke or something? That's pretty there were like some high level checkmarked people that were like, Todd McShay's wasted on air. I mean, that's kind of fucked up to say that. The poor guy what if he had a fucking stroke, like I said, or he was battling something really bad? I don't know, but I thought it was a kind of an alarming thing to see people out there making wild accusations about intoxication when it comes to that. Didn't that sound like he was like battling something there, like a stroke or something? Like, don't you think?
Yeah, that did not sound like drunk. Drunk sounds like slurring and
he'd probably be smiling like, we're here at Northwestern right now, and
right.
Boy, isn't it great. If you ever want to see drunk on a broadcast, search Joe Namath. When he tells Susie Colbert I want to kiss you on your mouth. That's drunk. That's not a stroke that does that, I'll tell you right now. Well, how about a more uplifting story? What do you say? This one involves a gentleman who, like myself, bats out of his league. People always say that to me. They're like, there's no way you're getting any girls. And I'm like, yeah, I don't get it either. I'm stunned by some of the caliber of lady who want to spend time with me as well. And I never understand the hate on guys who do this, by the way, because that's what's happening here. You see, this player for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Cole Tucker, don't show him yet, those who don't know, he's being linked to Vanessa Hudgens. Now, it is cuffing season, Enny, as you know. The ladies are out there. They're trying to cuff up. But I don't know that Vanessa Hudgens needs to cuff up necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Can we get a look at Vanessa Hudgens real quick while I tell the beginning of this story? For those who don't know, Vanessa Hudgens, obviously very pretty Disney girl, right? I mean, what is she from? I ask you like you have any fucking idea.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm about to know. Let me tell you.
I'm about to know. You don't know. So you don't know who Vanessa Hudgens is, but you are like into it now.
Yeah, I'm finding the Instagram right now, Chief.
All right. Zolo, you back there? This is your age group. This is your person. Give us a little.
She's from High School Musical.
High School Musical. All right.
Hey,
and he's like,
what you think? I listen to that dumb stuff?
Gonna go rent that shit right now. Yeah, I don't even know what I was too old for High School Musical myself. So this lady's basically a child, and I'm just like, well, she's 30. She's 31, though. She's only 3 years younger than me. That's crazy. It seems Giancarlo Stanton isn't the only Major League Baseballer who caught Vanessa Hudgens' eye. I can see her being with a guy like Mr. Giancarlo Stanton. I call him Mike Stanton till this asshole Enny. He plays for the Yankees now. When he was on the Marlins, he was Mike Stanton or something. I think it was Mike, yeah. And then he was like, I'm a Yankee now. I'm Giancarlo Stanton. It's like, all right, we get it. Italian, whatever the fuck. But, yeah, so over the weekend, she was photographed with Pittsburgh Pirates outfielder Cole Tucker, which, again, to put this in scale, Stanton on the Yankees, big star in the league. Cole Tucker for the Pirates, an outfielder for the Pirates? Like, how does that happen, right? So people are like, what? So in the photos, she's seen following her on a date night, blah, blah, blah. But people are, the reason this went so viral is because people are calling out the subpar expectations or subpar standards of Vanessa Hudgens. They're like, Cole Tucker really cuffed Vanessa Hudgens? Chase your dreams, kids. That's like one tweet right there. There's Cole Tucker up there, folks. So Cole Tucker going on a date with Vanessa Hudgens is the greatest accomplishment of any Pirates player in 20 years. That I agree with. Someone else quipped, raise your hand if you had Cole Tucker dates Vanessa Hudgens on your 2020 bingo card. Yes, so 2020 is crazy, right? One of those. The 24th overall selection in the 2014 Major League Baseball draft, Tucker made his Major League debut back in 2019 when he hit a game-winning home run in his first career hit. That's pretty good. But he's only got a 215 batting average with 3 home runs through 93 games across 2 seasons. Eek, not so good. So yeah, link up. You better fucking marry her, bro, because it sounds like your baseball money's going to run out quick. The Pirates finished the shortened 2020 season with a record of 19-41, last place in the NL Central Division, which makes this even more peculiar, of course. Enny's just stopped listening to me, and he is looking at Vanessa Hudgens' photos.
I'm doing research, bro.
Well, recently she started Netflix's The Princess Switched Again, must be the sequel, and she used to date, she goes through these pro athletes. If she dated Giancarlo Stanton, she dated some guy named Austin Butler. It doesn't say what he is. He must be an actor or something. But she also dated Kyle Kuzma from the fucking Lakers. So this chick, good for her. I mean, she just likes that pro athlete dick. And how could you not, right? Would it be tough for you to date a lass who went through so many athletes like that?
Define so many.
Well, we just named 3. At the very least that we know of.
Yeah, nah, because I know that I'm not gonna be able to step up. There's no way.
You don't think you could sling dick like an athlete?
Like an athlete?
What if they're trash though? You know, like what if they're so fucking athletic that they're like ga 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 ga, and then they just blow their load, and then they're like peace out toots, and they bail. You know? I
mean, I would imagine that they would be a garbage athlete then, because I mean, being an athlete, you gotta be smart. What is it? Kinesthetically, is that the word?
I do not know.
But it's like your body's smart, you know what I mean? So if your body's smart like that, chances are.
So do you think if they're a trash? I mean, everyone who makes it to the majors is somewhat of a good athlete. From reading his statistics through the last 93 games, a 215 batting average and 3 home runs, not so fucking hot for not in terms of professional baseball, not so great. Do you think that means he's got that trash dick?
I mean, I don't know what
his stats.
I don't know what any of those numbers you just said mean, but
just means he's not playing well.
I mean, yeah, he would probably be not as good as say LeBron James, but
so you think LeBron James fucks better than like every other athlete because he's one of the greatest basketball players of all time? That means he fucks better than all the other basketball players?
I would say he's one of the best dudes in bed. Yeah, I would imagine he would be insanely good in bed because of that.
It's an interesting line you draw, and I'm curious about. I mean, we'll have to look into that. That is something that we'll all have to ponder upon.
I'm telling you, it's body smart. There's different types of intelligence, right? And I forget what the type of intelligence is for body, but it's.
I get what you're saying, like kinetics of some sort, touching and having a sense of feel for things and knowing where you're at as far as physically. I get it. I get what you're saying. I just wonder, and now I'm wondering which sport would have the best person who fucks. But you don't watch sports, so we can't even have this discussion.
I don't even know if it would be sports. I would say dancers. I feel like dancers, dudes that dance like Chris Brown, that motherfucker probably.
Oh,
fucks, like,
sure. Well, that's.
better than
I feel
anyone.
like now we're comparing apples to oranges. Like you have to take an athlete who, like I said, very well could just be like, blah blah blah, like fucking rigorous, like they're at the gym, still getting their reps in, that kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe not. I guess maybe not baseball because it's such a weird sport when it comes to like what it exercises.
Well, I'll
and
tell you, baseball's
requires.
probably lowest ranked in terms of if their athletes can fuck good or not, because it's a lot of white dudes,
Right. I mean, yeah. All right. Yeah, you're right on that.
right?
You're right.
Hockey too. Hockey, I don't find hockey. I remember. I mean, I have a lot of friends who are hockey players. I don't know if this culture permeates to the pros, but I remember like hockey dudes were all into group sex. Like they were all about like tag teaming with their boys, like on the team and shit.
Interesting.
And by the way, I think it's a little more not as spoken about, but I think basketball players like doing that too. I think that's part of team chemistry.
Yeah, definitely. Like, not like group though. It's more like one at a time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like train.
Yeah. Exactly.
Choo choo. That's what I would do when I came up in the train. When it was my turn, I'd be like, choo choo, all aboard. And then I would have sex with a girl, and then I'd be the next guy. I go, what do they say? Last call or something like that. Like I'll make all the jokes.
All aboard?
All aboard. I'll high five the guy behind me. I'd be great in a train. So send invites to Josh Potter Show, YMHpodcast.com.
No, it's YMH Studios.
I'm sorry, YMHstudios.com. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Not that I want to see those emails.
Yes, please send all of your swinger. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, the email is joshpottershow at ymhstudios.com. Yes, it's time to get serious with the news. This involves group sex, though. This is a story that I found to be wild. We'll get to the queefs. Don't worry if that's what you're promoting up there. Oh, yes. I'm trying to figure out how to just jump into this meatball here because this is a fun one. You know the Beatles, right? John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr. Time is moving on, and as we look back, it's wild to think that the Beatles existed for such a short period of time, and they had such an impact on pop culture. And, John Lennon, of course, assassinated, and George Harrison has passed on. Now we're just left with Ringo and Paul. And Paul McCartney's getting to an age now where either he doesn't give a fuck anymore, or his mind is slipping, and he's just telling all the old stories. Because came out in a recent interview with GQ, published back on September 11th, never forget. Paul McCartney got extremely candid with the men's magazine, shared a brief anecdote about group masturbation sessions that involved him, John Lennon, and 3 of John Lennon's friends. What it was over at John's house. It was just a group of us. Instead of just getting roaring drunk and partying, I don't even know if we were staying over or anything. We were all just in these chairs and the lights were out and somebody started masturbating, so we all did it. That's what he said in the interview. I don't know that that's a story worth telling to GQ magazine. I mean, of course, it went viral because people are like, John Lennon and McCartney not only were they writing together all of these wonderful songs that are basically like oxygen in the air now. We just hear them everywhere we go. They were Jing their D's while they were doing it. They were like, oh man, I'm just out of juice today, friend. What do you say we jerk our dicks? There's no way this was the only time they did this. Those writing sessions go long. And then what? I mean, I'm sure Paul McCartney was like, why don't you jerk my dick, John? And he was like, well, I think I will, yes. And then they jerk each other's. I'm sure it now. And they wrote a song called Come Together. Because they were coming together right now. That's what that song is about, turns out. That's what I'm learning. McCartney then went into further detail saying that the 5 boys encouraged each other to shout various names of celebrities during the group masturbation session. That's such a weird game. We just kept saying Bridget Bardot. Woo! And then everyone would trash a bit more. That's what he calls his dick, thrash. He said thrash a bit more. I'm going to use that in terms of jerking my dick. Yo, man, you thrash your dick today or what? I thrashed it like 6 times. I think it was John who said Winston Churchill. That's what he put in the story, too. John was a piece of shit, for the record. He was a real... Stop fucking hero worshipping this fucking monster. I'm so glad Mark David Chapman shot him in the head. You should be, too. Because if he wasn't shot in the head, he'd be canceled to the fucking moon by now, okay? We'd be talking about him in a lot worse ways than we talk about him. We're all very lucky that happened.
Murder.
Ooh, I found another page to it, but I was seeing if there's any more quotes. Oh, yes, here, this is a good part. I'm sorry. He said, it was just one of those things he didn't think much of. It was quite raunchy when you think about it now. There's so many things like that from when you're a kid that you look back on and you're like, did we do that? But it was good, harmless fun. That's what he said, no good, harmless. I don't remember doing that as a kid. Let alone in my 20s, just being like, what's up, coworker? That'd be like, Enny, you want to come over for a show meeting? And then I'd be like, you know what, really jog this along. I'm going to save these ones. This is a good place to go. We're going to end on queefs. So do not fret, friend. But I wanted to pass this along because it is almost Christmas time. We just had Thanksgiving. And, the Christmas season is upon us. And Dr. Fauci came out and he said, and I should have probably used this in the Nice Boy Clock because it is a nice boy story. Santa Claus is immune to COVID-19, says Dr. Anthony Fauci. Santa will be spreading lots of joy, not COVID-19, when he visits millions of homes this Christmas. That's because Kris Kringle is immune to coronavirus, according to the nation's top infectious disease expert. Santa is exempt from this because Santa, of all the good qualities he has a lot of good innate immunity. I want to see Fauci just up there spinning this. You know what I'm saying? I thought this fucking wet blanket was going to go up there and be like, Santa can't catch COVID because he's not real. That's what I really thought he was going to say to children. Santa's fake. What are we doing? Like, that's how big of a stick in the mud Fauci is that I thought he would say that. But I'm glad he played along. It's very nice. And Santa is real, children. If you're listening to this, and I know there's plenty of children out there listening to this show. Children, Santa is real. And don't let anybody who tells you he's fake is a bad boy or girl, because that's why he's fake to them. That's why, because he doesn't go to their house because they're bad. So Santa is real and he can't get COVID, but he can get herpes. So, when Mama was kissing Santa Claus, that's why a lot of mamas got herpes, kids. Okay. Just a nice Christmas story, and I think that made everyone feel nice and warm for the holidays. And you know what else makes me feel nice and warm inside? That's the glorious sound of listener-submitted queefs. And we have a whole bundle, don't we? Did you give them to me? You gave me the queefs.
I gave them to you, but you could play them, I could play them.
I got them over here. I was sitting over here going like, all right, Enny, you ready for the queefs? But I forgot that I have them right here. Now I sound like fucking the dude at the beginning of the Alvin and the Chipmunk song. I'm like, ready, Enny? And you're like, okay. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Queefs galore. Look at how many we have here. So this one comes to us. Ruben's wife has submitted a second one. Apparently she was not satisfied or needed to up the ante a bit. So here's Ruben's wife. Numero dos. Oh my lord. Ruben's wife stepping it up. That is definitely post-coital. As we've learned, when the jizz goes inside, as we were discussing earlier in the NBA story, this is what it would sound like. This is, ladies, don't queef if you get an NBA player to put their load in you, okay? Because you're going to squirt some out and you might not get pregnant. Here's Rachel. Hers was talking. It made like pitches. Did you hear that?
That sounded like it fucking whistled.
Yeah, it was like, man. It breathed. Oh, it sounds adorable, first of all.
Yeah, that's like that sound that kids used to make in high school. The little whoop. I can't do it.
I can't do it either. Whoop. Something like that.
She could do it with her pussy.
It just sounded like it could sing almost. Here's Rachel again. This is the same Rachel, or is this just a different Rachel? But Rachel number 2 might be the same.
That's the same Rachel.
Okay, so this bitch has range, okay? Oh my lord. Just this one, if we were making a choir, she'd be the soloist. You know what I'm saying? Here's Jess, as we rattle through. I mean, she squirted that one out. That was a real clencher, you know? What do you think? Chime in here on any of these.
You know, it's funny. I thought that this was gonna be these were gonna be fun emails to watch. I'm thinking like, I think my brain went to like, oh, vaginas. That'd be cool.
You thought it was gonna be hot to get the queefs.
I did. Like literally every time I opened one up that said handstand queef, and I was like, yo, that sounds hot. Opened it up, and it's not what I thought. It's not what I thought at all. Is
it because there's no video? Or do you get videos?
No,
Are you hiding keeping the videos yourself?
I get videos. They request to not put those up.
Of course. But why are we not sharing them with Josh?
Yeah, I'll forward them to you.
Egregious error. Okay. Next up, we have a queef from... What does this say?
It says Lil Roach's friend.
Little Roach's friend. Aw, my little roach. Oh my lord.
Yeah, I'll send you that video.
There's a video of that one?
There's a video.
And you didn't find it hot, eh?
Nope.
I can guess why.
She's at work, by the way, I'm pretty sure.
At work.
Pretty sure.
Well, hey, we're better to queef than at work. I don't know when queefs happen, like, naturally. Like, do girls just walk around and all of a sudden they're like, like when you fart or something, you're just like, oh boy. You're like walking down the street, you're like, blamp. Do girls do that with queefs, do you think?
I don't think so. Most of them say that this is on command.
Yeah, I've learned that very much through my new education on queefs, that they can do them on command, a lot of these women. And that has been an alarming sort of situation. Now, Enny, when you hear queefs during sex, do you go like, because now you're a connoisseur. So you know the different kinds. You're like, oh, she's got a tight pussy.
I used to just ignore them. I was like, whatever. Yeah. Now I'm like, could you not remind me of work, please? I'm trying to dissociate from that right now.
Well, I used to get kind of like alarmed by them, like, because you can sense a girl's embarrassment. But now it's like part of my brand. So like when they queef, they're like, see, it's for you, baby.
In-person submissions.
Yeah, I don't have my recording going, unfortunately. I'm like, that would have been a good one. Here's Matt's wife. That one is just a nice quick one. Those ones scare me because it's like, how did you conjure that? Like there's something in there that makes it, you know what I mean? So please indicate if you fuck right before you record the queef, because I want to know.
That one, I'm pretty sure. What was that one called?
Matt's wife.
Matt's wife. Actually, yeah, that one didn't have anything tagged at the end.
Yes, let us know if you fuck and then make the queef.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that was Kaylin's wife. Or was it Kaylin? What does that say? Kalakis?
Yeah, Kalake. I'm not sure how you say that.
Kalake.
Kalake.
Well,
Kalake.
Your wife has quite the queef there, sir.
He said fresh off a doggy. Oops.
Fresh off a doggy?
Fresh off a doggy, yeah.
This is a doggy style queef. This is where queefs mostly happen. I had learned doggy style. Do you notice that?
No, I don't.
No.
I dissociate from them. I pretend they didn't happen.
Well,
so.
I mean, you have some recollection. I want to say doggy is what has supplied most of the, because you're always doing the whole thing where you're like, you pull out your dick and you look at it and you put it back, so you're packing that air. So I think doggy style is where queefs occur more than missionary, where you are staying inside most of the time. Just my thoughts.
I'm going to have to trust you on that one, Chief.
That's a good one, though. That's the doggy style queef right there, my friend. It's a big one. Here's Kyle's girlfriend. Ooh, boy. It's still going.
This is the one that said handstand queef.
You can tell she's pumping it out. It seems painful. I don't like it anymore. That one was rough.
I used to be really into handstands. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, it used to be a thing.
And now it's changed you.
Not today. Not
Oh my
today.
God. Why handstands, by the way?
I don't know.
You like that pile driver shit where you're just like dang, 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 downward?
I mean, now, yes. But before, no, it showed up on my Instagram feed randomly. Like, when you hit the search button and you see all the, like, chicks that think you just wanna look
Yoga
at-
chicks do handstands all the time.
Yeah, that's what it was. So it just started randomly showing me that, thinking that I would like it. And I'm like, you don't know me, Instagram. Turns out they do. I like the shit out of it. Now I follow Handstand Nation on Instagram.
It is sexual for you.
Yeah, it was hot. I don't know why. It was a thing. It's like, I don't know. Imagine it's a control thing for sure. It's a control thing. This goes deep, but
So you want to fuck them in a handstand?
I mean, I'll do it.
How would
yeah.
that work though? I can understand it being like a 69 situation.
No, I mean, like you said, it's like the pile driver, so it's not exactly a handstand. I would love to do that, but I mean, yeah, the amount of
it's just them being
logistics that would take.
upside down is erotic too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That one, that one. I'm sorry it ruined handstands for you. Your newfound fetish there, but such is this part of the job, Enny. You signed up for this, and here we are. Here's Christina. Ooh, a double one there. And it says Christina. Was it our own Christina? No, I didn't know. I'm just asking. I don't think so. Yeah, probably not. Maybe one day we'll get a surprise email.
I'll tell you what. One thing, that one actually did sound the cleanest out of all of them.
That's your observation for that one, that it sounded the cleanest.
It did. It sounded like there was just a straight airway. You know what I mean?
Yes. And what would create that though?
Oh.
A dildoing? Like, what decides a clean one for you?
I mean, my hope was just a clean, but
A natural queef.
Yeah, just.
Well, this has
just
nothing to do
nothing
with
in the
booties,
way.
we know. Has nothing to do with their booties. This is all coming from the vagina.
Oh, my bad. Did I say booty?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. A clean vajayjay. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
you
saying?
were thinking of.
I was thinking of booty.
No, that's a nice ass.
And DeAndre Hopkins, I will never eat your fucking ass. You hear me right now? And I'm sorry that I said your dick pic was my dick. You fucking asshole. You're not thankful for shit. I hate you, DeAndre Hopkins. We have 3 more queefs. You're a fucking piece of shit, and I'm never doing anything nice for you again. This one is for, this is Becca's friend, it says. Friend Becca?
Yeah, it was Anonymous's friend,
Okay.
Becca.
Oh, you gotta love the repeater thing at the end there. That was just a nice long one. She really had to have backed up and let it rip, you know what I'm saying? Was that the longest one we have on record? With such a bold tone, right? I mean, we've had long ones, but that one was loud and long.
That sounded like my old fucking motorcycle revving up.
A motorcycle.
Yep.
And then it dies. All right, this one comes to us by way of Laney. Now, this file is labeled a different extension. Might not work here, eh? Oh, no, it works.
Go.
Is she peeing while she's doing it?
I think that's an aquarium, maybe.
Careful with the ambiance, folks. We can always jump to some poor conclusions here, you realize. If, in fact, we have... I don't want to... I thought maybe he was peeing. He's like, all right, go. Now you can queef because I'm peeing on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Let's hear it again. Go, please. It's making me have to pee. You gotta love the proud boyfriend or husband, right? All right, go.
He said, nice.
Nice. We got that one. I saw the levels. Here's our final one of the day. Devin's girlfriend. Oh my lord. That one had some girth at the end. Like she was squirting something. Like she, when you like fart and you push a little too hard and something pops out at the end there? That's what it sounded like there. She was like, "Oop, there's an ovary." Like something came out. Yeah. I don't know. She squirted something out there. What submissions? Holy hell. They are just fantastic, and Enny will pour over all of them. So keep sending them in at Josh Potter Show at ymhpodcasts.com. Thank you so much for those submissions. Thank you for submitting all of your fine music and trap music to the sports beats. I would love some for the news beats if you are so inclined to do that. Our instrumental today comes to us by way of Brockton, who I know submitted one of those as well. And as far as dates go, Daddy's got none. And I mean, I do have one on the books for like forever from now. If you want to come to the West Palm Improv in March 21st, those tickets are for sale on their website, I do believe. Other than that, we are locked down. It's all about the Josh Potter Show. We're going to get merch real soon up at the new store, which you can find at store.ymhstudios.com. Also, big thanks to those in the back. We got Enny, you've got Zolo, you've got Nadav doing a great job, and they, of course, did a fantastic job with the YMH live show that just occurred. Hope you caught that for Thanksgiving. So thank you so much for joining us on the show once again. Thank you to Enny. Thank you to Nadav. Thank you to Zolo. Continue, please, to rate, review, like, and subscribe. All the things on iTunes, they keep things trending upwards. So I hope you keep doing that. If you've already subscribed, unsubscribe and subscribe again, for fuck's sake. Leave a comment and give a 5-star review. Other than that, I love you very much. All my little roaches out there, thank you for joining us for the 10th episode of The Josh Potter Show.